Imagine being so fed up with a marriage that you don't even bother with a face-to-face talk. No phone call, nothing. Instead, you pack your fancy diamond engagement ring into a FedEx envelope and mail it back to your husband like it's a pair of shoes that didn't fit. That's exactly how Trevor Engelson reportedly found out his marriage to Meghan Markle was over. But while the world called it a cold Hollywood power move, Trevor saw something else. He wasn't just an ex-husband. He was the guy who knew the real Meghan, the one the royal family was never supposed to meet. The version before the fancy titles, before tea with the Queen, and before that polished accent. And if the latest whispers from Hollywood are true, Trevor isn't just sitting on a sad love story. He's holding proof of a whole different life Meghan tried to erase. Trevor was there during the struggle. He supported her when she was just another actress trying to get her big break. He saw the raw, unfiltered hunger that pushed her. But people close to Trevor say he also saw pieces of her past that didn't fit the story she was selling. There have always been quiet rumors about Meghan's early years, the time before she became famous, especially a strange gap in her past that seems to have been wiped clean. We're talking about the late 90s. Most teens back then worried about prom and college apps. But for Meghan, those years are a blur of vague travel tales and finding herself. However, insiders claim that during that time, she wasn't just soul-searching. They say she was actually navigating a secret marriage that came 10 years before Trevor. The name that keeps coming up in these behind-closed-doors chats is Joe Giuliano. He wasn't a Hollywood big shot or a prince. He was a regular guy from her younger days. The rumor goes that an 18-year-old Meghan snuck off to a small Vegas chapel, signed the papers, and walked out as a married woman. For most people, a young mistake like that is just a tiny footnote. But for someone aiming for the top of the British monarchy, a hidden first marriage is a ticking bomb. The story says the marriage was quickly annulled and the records were sealed so tight it was like it never happened. It was a total reset, a clean wipe of a life that didn't fit her dream anymore. But you can't just delete real people, and you sure can't delete the rumors about what that marriage supposedly created. This is where the story twists from basic Hollywood gossip into something truly wild. For years, there's been talk about a girl named Noel. According to the speculation, Noel was born in the mid-90s and quietly raised by the Giuliano family in Chicago. While Meghan was at Northwestern University and later climbing the Hollywood ladder, Noel was reportedly brought up in the shadows, kept far from cameras and red carpets. If you scan the official timeline of Meghan's life, you'll spot some weird gaps. Periods where she stayed out of sight or kept things real quiet. Insiders claim she wasn't in Europe or finding her soul. Nope. She was in Chicago, keeping a low profile near a family that held her biggest secret. If this is true, it flips everything we thought we knew about the Duchess. It doesn't just make her a mother of two, it makes her a woman who allegedly walked away from her firstborn child to chase a different kind of fame. But the story doesn't stop there, because time keeps moving. If Noel really exists and was born in the mid-90s, she'd be in her late 20s today. Recent reports have come out saying this secret daughter has now started a family of her own. If the math adds up, Meghan Markle isn't just a mom to Archie and Lilibet. She's a grandmother. Picture that for a second. While the global media is obsessed with her modern mom brand and her podcasts about female empowerment, there is supposedly a whole other branch of her family tree that she refuses to even mention. This isn't just a crack in the image, it's a total collapse of the fairy tale. And right in the middle of this storm stands Trevor Engelson, the guy who reportedly knows exactly where the secrets are buried. For years, Trevor has stayed quiet. He's been offered millions for book deals. He's been approached by every major news outlet in the world to tell his side. And for the most part, he's kept his mouth shut. But why? Some say it's out of dignity. Others think he's waiting for the perfect moment. But the most interesting theory is that Trevor doesn't need to speak because his silence is his real power move. He lived through the change. He was there when Meghan was reportedly putting together her future vision board. And yes, multiple insiders, including seasoned journalists like Megyn Kelly, have claimed that a young Meghan Markle literally had a vision board with Prince Harry's face on it years before they ever crossed paths. This wasn't some random meeting in a London bar. It was a planned operation, and Trevor saw the whole blueprint. The idea of that vision board keeps popping up in Meghan's story. It points to a level of planning that feels almost professional. She didn't just want to be famous, she wanted to be legendary. And to be legendary, you need a spotless past. You can't be the girl with a secret Vegas wedding and a daughter in Chicago if you want to walk down that aisle at St. George's Chapel. You have to be the self-made woman, the activist, the Suits star who just happened to fall for a prince. But the problem with building a life on top of erased secrets is that the people you erased are still walking around. The Giuliano family, the Chicago neighbors, the old classmates, they all remember. And memories don't just disappear. And as the pressure keeps building on the Sussex brand, those memories are starting to turn into real talk from real people. Folks close to the situation in Chicago have begun speaking more boldly. They describe a young girl who looks a lot like Meghan, same eyes, same energy, who was always just there at family gatherings but never officially explained. She wasn't some adopted cousin or a foster kid. She was treated like part of the inner circle, someone meant to stay in the background. If these accounts are accurate, it paints a heartbreaking picture of a trade-off. It suggests that to get the life she has now, Meghan had to treat her own past like a legal liability. She moved on, switched up her circle, and built a brand new identity, leaving a trail of ghosts behind her. But ghosts have a way of popping up when you least expect them. Trevor Engelson is reportedly sitting on a mountain of proof that could back up these claims. We're talking private emails from their marriage, photos from the early days, and personal conversations that reveal the real timeline of Meghan's rise. The reason Meghan is reportedly scared of a tell-all from Trevor isn't just about the awkwardness of a failed marriage. It's about the fact that Trevor can prove she wasn't who she claimed to be when she met Harry. He can show the before and after of a woman willing to erase the most basic parts of her own life story to lock down a crown. His silence isn't just a choice, it's a chess move. And as the rumors of a daughter and a grandchild get harder to brush off, Trevor's position becomes even more powerful. The most chilling part of this whole story is the thought of Noel watching from a distance. Imagine seeing your biological mother on the cover of Time magazine getting praised for her honesty and her parenting skills. Imagine watching her talk about raising kids while you remain a secret that must never be told. That kind of hurt doesn't stay bottled up forever. If Noel is now a mother herself, the stakes are even higher. She isn't just a secret daughter anymore. She's a mom who may want her own children to know where they come from. This is the grandparent nightmare that the palace PR machine is reportedly desperate to keep hidden. Because how do you explain to the public that the most famous modern royal has been hiding a whole multi-generational family in the Midwest? The move from Hollywood actress to Duchess was supposed to be the ultimate fairy tale win. But fairy tales fall apart fast when there are real people involved. And right now, the people who know the truth are tired of keeping quiet. They're tired of watching a rewritten history get all the applause. The question isn't whether more truth will come out. The question is who will break the silence first, and what happens when they do. But as more layers get peeled back, this starts looking less like a fairy tale and more like a masterclass in controlling your image. Every move was deliberate, every friendship was carefully chosen, and every messy piece of her past was allegedly handled with the same cold efficiency as that ring she shipped back in a FedEx box. But the truth, like water, always finds the cracks. Whether it's Trevor Engelson finally deciding to speak up or the Giuliano family getting tired of keeping secrets, the story is shifting. The world is starting to see that the fairy tale might have been a script, and the woman who wrote it may have left out the most important characters. While the media stays focused on the drama between Harry and William or the constant fights with paparazzi, the real story runs much deeper. It's a story about the price of big ambition. It's about what happens when you try to run away from your own history. Meghan Markle has spent years telling her truth her own way, but the truth is rarely a solo act. There are too many people holding too much proof for the silence to last. Trevor Engelson doesn't have to be the bad guy here. He just needs to be a witness. And if he ever decides to take the stand, the royal version of Meghan Markle might just vanish, leaving behind the woman who once thought she could mail her past away in a cardboard box. The question now isn't if the full story will come out. It's when. With every new rumor about Noel and that hidden family in Chicago, the pressure keeps rising. The public isn't satisfied anymore with the polished, PR-approved version of the Duchess. People want to know about the missing year. They want to know about those Vegas wedding vows. And most of all, they want to know how someone can talk so much about kindness while allegedly leaving their own flesh and blood in the dark. The cracks are getting wider, and the light is starting to hit the places Meghan worked so hard to keep hidden. If this story of a secret daughter and a hidden first marriage turns out to be true, the impact on the British monarchy would be massive. It wouldn't just be a scandal for Meghan, it would be a total failure of the palace's background checks. It would prove that the most protected institution in the world got outplayed by a girl with a vision board and a plan. It would flip the whole Sussex versus the world story on its head. It's not that the world was against her, it's that she was allegedly hiding the world from herself. And as Trevor Engelson watches from the sidelines, you have to wonder if he's simply waiting for the final chapter to write itself. The story of the erased family is the ultimate test of the Sussex brand. You can hide a marriage certificate, you can seal a legal record, but you can't shut up the people who actually lived through it. The Giulianos, the old neighbors, and the ex-husband who got a ring in the mail, they are all pieces of a puzzle that is finally clicking together, and that picture might be one nobody was ready to see. And as the final pieces click into place, the picture they create isn't of a princess. It's of a woman so determined to reach the very top that she didn't care who she left crushed at the bottom. The modern mom and the authentic duchess might be the roles of a lifetime, but the roles of mother and daughter are the ones that usually demand the truth in the end. In the high-stakes game of image control, your biggest enemy isn't the press or the critics. It's the version of yourself you tried to bury alive. For Meghan, that version lived in Chicago, it lived in Las Vegas, and it lived in a small apartment with Trevor Engelson. No matter how many millions she spends on PR or how many Netflix shows she makes, those people still exist. And as long as they exist, the royal story is living on borrowed time. Trevor's silence has been a shield for her for a long while, but every shield eventually shatters. And when it does, the shocking truth won't be something a tabloid dug up. It will be the reality that was sitting there all along, just waiting for someone to finally say it out loud. The biggest irony is that Meghan's search for a voice might be exactly what brings her down. By constantly inviting the world into her life, she accidentally pushed people to look at the chapters she tried to skip. You can't ask for the spotlight and then get mad when it shines on the parts you wanted to keep dark. The secret daughter, the grandmother reveal, and the vision board strategy, these aren't just rumors anymore. They are the new hot topics in a global deep dive into a woman who thought she could reinvent herself without any blowback. Looking ahead at the future of the Sussexes, the shadow of Trevor Engelson looms larger than ever. He is the bridge between the Meghan that was and the Meghan that is. He is the one who can connect the girl from LA to the Duchess of Sussex. Whether he talks or stays quiet, his very existence is a constant reminder that the past never truly vanishes. It's just waiting for the right moment to resurface. And for Meghan Markle, that moment might be closer than she ever imagined. The fairy tale is crumbling, and the real story, the one involving Noel, Joe Giuliano, and the man who got a FedEx package, is only just beginning. This isn't just celebrity gossip or royal rules. It's about the basic human need for the truth. You can build a palace made of secrets, but you can't live inside it forever. Eventually, the walls fall down. And when they do, the world won't be staring at a duchess. They'll be staring at a woman who tried to delete her own life, only to learn that history has a very long memory. The rumors of a granddaughter in the Midwest aren't just a shocking twist. They are a reminder that no one, not even a duchess, is more powerful than their own truth. The silence from the Giuliano family has been one of the most effective parts of this cover-up. But even that is starting to crack. In the age of social media and digital trails, keeping a person erased for 30 years is nearly impossible. There are photos, there are school records, there are people who remember. As the Noel story picks up steam, more folks are coming forward with their own tiny pieces of the puzzle. A sighting here, a conversation there. It's all building toward a breaking point, and when that happens, even the best PR team in the world won't be able to stop the flood. In the end, Trevor Engelson holds the most important piece of the puzzle, and the clock is ticking. He didn't just see the ambition. He saw the real heart of the woman behind it. He saw what she was willing to give up to get what she wanted. And if he ever decides to share that view with the world, it won't just be news, it will be a full-blown revelation. The Duchess of Sussex has spent years telling us who she is. Maybe it's time we finally hear from the people who actually know who she was. Because the real Meghan Markle isn't the one on those magazine covers. She's the one who got left behind in the mail along with her wedding ring and a past she thought she could forget. But as the world gets ready for a possible tell-all, we have to ask, what does it say about us that we're so hooked on this story? Maybe it's because we all have parts of our past we'd love to edit out, but few of us go to the extreme of allegedly erasing a marriage and a child just to hit our goals. That level of commitment to a fake image is as fascinating as it is terrifying. It suggests that for some people, the picture they present is more real than actual reality. And if that's true, then watching that image fall apart is the ultimate drama. The story of the hidden daughter and the grandmother duchess is a tragedy of a different kind. It's a tragedy of missed connections and voices that got shut down. If Noel really exists, she is the biggest victim of the Markle vision. She is the person who had to be sacrificed so the duchess could be born. And now that this daughter is raising her own family, the cycle of secrets keeps spinning. But for how much longer? The truth doesn't just want to be told. It needs to be told. And as the pressure builds, the world is waiting for the moment the silence finally gets shattered. Whether it's a book, an interview, or some legal papers, the raw, unfiltered version of this story is coming. Trevor Engelson, the Giuliano family, and the ghosts of Meghan's past are all crashing into the present. The missing years are getting filled in, one whisper at a time, and when the full picture is finally revealed, it won't be the one Meghan put on her vision board. It will be the one she tried to hide from everyone, the story of a girl who wanted to be a queen and the family she had to leave behind to get there. The era of the carefully controlled duchess is over. We are now entering the era of the documented truth. And in this new chapter, there is no room for erasures. There is only the reality of what happened, who was there, and the daughter who reportedly shares the face of the woman who won't even say her name. The story of Meghan Markle isn't a fairy tale, it's a warning sign. It's a reminder that you can switch up your name, your title, and even your country. But you can never change your blood. And eventually, your blood always comes looking for you. That knock on the door? It might just be the past you tried to bury. And this time, it's not leaving without the truth.